Chuck Brickley's collection of haiku, Earthshine, now in its fourth printing, is the winner of several awards in the US and Canada, including the Touchstone Distinguished Book Award for 2017. Chuck's poems have been published worldwide, many of them awarded, translated, and collected in anthologies such as Haiku in English, The First 100 Years, a 2013 publication. One of his haibun was nominated for the Pushcart Prize in 2018, and another for the Saunders Best Small Fiction Award 2019. Brickley coordinates the 6 international contests sponsored by the Haiku Society of America and is on the panel for the Haiku Foundation's Touchstone Award for Individual Poems. Please visit him to learn more at www.chuckbrickley.com. Thank you so much. It is my pleasure to introduce Chuck Brickley.
Oh, thank you, Sandy. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a Rivertown poet. As well, kudos to the Aquas Collective that sponsors this event. Petaluma is lucky to have you guys. I've read a bunch about you. It's amazing. And to everyone else here tonight, wow, look at you all. Much gratitude for your support of poetry. I'm especially honored to be the first haiku poet featured in this event. I always welcome the opportunity to read outside my usual platform. I started writing haiku back in the 60s here in San Francisco, where I'm from. But I didn't really grasp the art and spirit of haiku until I moved to a small town in British Columbia, the town of Hope, BC. That was in the 70s. Soon I started seeing my free verse haiku published in Canada, the US, Japan, and since in several other countries and online. Now that I'm back in the Bay Area, I continue to be inspired by this brief, wondrous form of poetry. Not only can it express one's communion with nature and the seasons, but as well, the depth and full range of human experience. No matter where I am, nature is my church, haiku, my artistic and spiritual practice. Pre-dawn hush, the forest still dripping. Planting a spruce, the mountain wind in my shirt. Forsythia, the widow's blinds part slightly. Heat waves, a butterfly wing ascending the anthill. Heat waves, a butterfly wing ascending the anthill. Through thistles in bloom, my daughter on my shoulders. Through thistles in bloom, my granddaughter on my shoulders. Last lilac, the bee's shadow slips to a lower leaf. This next poem is a one-line vertical haiku. One sip, enough from as deep a well as this. Manhole steam. 2 men with briefcases from the other world. That poem was published in 2008 during the financial crisis. Manhole steam. 2 men with briefcases from the other world. Distant sail, a breeze lifts the hairs on my neck. I included this next poem in an email to a friend of mine, a professor at San Francisco State, Dr. Arthur Chandler, retired now. Lovers down the beach turn out to be driftwood. He wrote back, driftwood down the beach turns out to be lovers. Well, I wrote back to him, yeah, this is San Francisco. I've seen it. But the original poem has more existential resonance. Lovers down the beach turn out to be driftwood. Balancing, a boy empties his shoe in the summer wind. Deserted schoolyard. The fence he climbed over to a rack. A car at the cliff's edge. The Milky Way. From this cliff, where my closest friend flipped out, unfathomable stars. Meteor trail. My footsteps down the gravel road. Moonlit porch. Cooling off with the blackberry pie. Our little town in BC, in British Columbia, had a bad crystal meth problem there for a while. My friend Eva Wunderman directed a documentary about this problem called Crystal Fear, Crystal Clear, which you can find on Prime Video. Eva won a Gracie Allen Award for Best Female Director of a documentary for this film. I produced the soundtrack, and I'm shown in the film helping a young addict by encouraging his musical talent in the studio. He turned out to be an outstanding, creative, mature adult, unlike the subject of this next poem. Rain pelting the tin shed where the meth head lived. Okay, now time for something lighter. Excuse me. Haibun is a hybrid form mixing prose with haiku. The following haibun is a true story with a single haiku at the end. This goes out to my Canadian friends here tonight. It's called Stop for Slowing. Stopped for slowing. Turn off the engine, I said. The Mountie, irked that he had to ask me a second time. Already did, I answered, fumbling through my wallet for a driver's license. Yeah? Then what's that sound? Kim put a hand on my shoulder, motioned with her eyes towards the back of our flatbed truck. Of course. The reason why I was letting every car pass us on the highway. Do you mean the bees? I asked. The what? Well, that stack of white drawers behind me. Got 50,000 bees today for our garden. Sound riled up, do they? And faster than you can say, I'm out of here, the Mountie was. Tire squeal. Sunflowers turning with the sun. Stuck together. Red dragonflies in the air. Blown away. Sheet lightning. A face near the top of the Ferris wheel. My father, somewhere in America this autumn night. The following is an elegy for Dodie, my dear mother-in-law. Moonrise, still out there weeding in her sun hat. Two weeks later, Jack Brickley died. Indian summer night. I call up my stepfather to hear his laugh. Here's the elegy I wrote for my cowboy prospector friend, Clayton Thomas Jenkins Morris, who liked to be called Slim. And I'm going to read it in the way he would like to hear it heard. Slow harmonica, the glow of the fireplace on his closed eyes. The firemen too stand back in the night and watch. Withered marsh. One by one, the last geese lift into dawn. My wife, Kim, she likes most of my coup, not all, but most. Here's one of her favorites. Morning quiet. A fir sifts snow into the lake. Smacked upside the head by her snowball. Still in love. Guttering candle. I tuck my son in with my mother's hands. In my book, Earthshine, I call this next haiku a ghost track. Actually, my daughter Holly suggested that. It was spot on. It could also serve as my jisei, or my death poem. A snowshoe hare hops through its breath. Morning star. In addition to haiku and haibun, I've been writing senyu lately, as well as renge and einoku. Einoku is a variant form of haiku that I was turned on to by my friend Eileen Casaneto, poet laureate of San Mateo County. The form was created by Eileen Tabios, an esteemed poet, novelist, and scholar here in Northern California. The word einoku is a Filipino expression meaning wow or oh my God. Excuse me. The form consists of 3 lines, 1 word, 2 words, 3 words. I'll start this last section of my reading with an einoku. Compacting my dreams, morning garbage truck. Alley frost, except where he slept. Homelessness is rampant in my two home cities, San Francisco and Vancouver, you see. Heartbreaking. This could be considered a Hemingway six-word story. Alley frost, except where he slept. There but for fortune and my mom. Mom's hug. The sun burns through the fog. Love you, Mom. Jasmine scent. A bag of groceries on our doorstep. Kim and I got married in 1968 when no one we knew here in San Francisco was even slightly thinking about marriage, let me tell you. So glad, so blessed we did. Our embrace, the frayed white curtains billowing inside. One of the few upsides to the pandemic, for me anyway, has been the challenge and reward of writing backyard haiku. Staying in place, a hummingbird fans my ear. Staying in place, a hummingbird fans my ear. Clover blossoms, a bumblebee bounces off its buzzes. A swirl of blood in the bird bath sky. My yellow balloon sailing over the redwoods that stood here. Here's another Einiku. Hourglass, your shape is killing me. Age spots, a fistful of sand sifting back to sand. Pausing at the railing where he jumped. Sunlight on the bay. Duomo bells for each death ringing, each death ringing. Beeline to black smoke, a cabbage white fights the wind. Old glory waving like there's no tomorrow. Backfire, the senator flinches in his pew. This red sunset taking my breath away. A knee, his. Drought moon, another tear in the window screen. Drought moon, another tear in the window screen. Wildfire moon, A siren heralds the first horseman. Almost done, folks. Luna piena. Luna piena is Italian for full moon. My wife and I have been to Italy twice now. Both times we were shocked by episodes of racism, especially on trains. We thought America had a corner on this stuff. A while back, I saw a news report about boats of refugees not being allowed to dock on Italian soil. Many refugees trying to swim for freedom died. One night recently, I woke up sweating and wrote what I saw in my dream. Luna piena, a refugee eyes me from a kelp bed. Luna piena, a refugee eyes you from a kelp bed. This practice of writing haiku encourages one to stay in touch with the way things are, no matter tooth and claw in nature, in humanity, and human nature. Fortunately, the way things are includes daily miracles, mystic moments, beauty, love, morning glow. My wife waves a rainbow over our garden. Thank you again, Sandy, for inviting me to read here tonight. And you too, Mr. Guy Biederman, for recommending me. As well, many thanks to everybody here in Zoomland for supporting Dave later, myself, and the open mic poets coming up here shortly. Please stay for everyone. This year, no wishbone big enough.